across the company Salon.
Hi, I'm Veronica. Today we're going to do a video on 5 steps on finding a good salon home.
Okay, so I have a little list. Step 1, I would suggest to research salons. Use social media, websites, think of places or salons you visited before in the past, or that your friends have been to, or your relatives have been to, and kind of look them up that way. Like any places you can think of that you heard through when you were in school, or that your friends work at, or that you
drove past,
or heard good things about. Do searches on the internet and see what pops up, and then start to do your research from there. That's just top line. Go from there as to how you kind of dwindle that down as to where you decide where to apply, and then finally work at after that.
Keep account. No, you want to keep in mind.
Keep an account.
You want to make note of how far the salon you're interested in is, because the commute, you're going to be doing it daily, so you don't want it to be like super far. You are like running late, or if you had a long day, like it would probably just be more ideal to have it closer to you. So definitely keep in mind, like that would also help you narrow down your research. If you just look within a certain mile radius, that would help.
Or if you're planning on moving there, like
that
say
too,
maybe it isn't super close yet, but you're planning on either moving there in the near future. So after you've created your list, after you've done that, then you want to dissect their content. So say after you've done your mass research around the areas you wanted to work in, or the places you wanted to work in, then you want to dwindle your list down some more. Be like, okay, so do you want to work in a barber specialty salon? Do you want to work in a extension specialty salon? Do you want to work fashion color salon? In our case, a curly specialty salon. And then also like aesthetic and vibe. So example I thought in my head, which is super random, I don't know if this exists, but like ladies in their 60s in a biker gang. Like
got a very good mental picture.
Like if that's a salon vibe or setting that exists and that's your jam, then that would be somewhere you would want to apply, right? But then if that isn't your jam, then why would you apply? That wouldn't click to me. So step 3. So after you've dwindled your list down from step 1 and step 2, then you would go to next, discern what the brand core values are, what the work culture is. Perhaps go get a service done and do some recon on the team environment. So what I mean by that is, hopefully these salons on your list now have done a really good job as to showcasing what their brand core values are, like meaning what they stand for, what they believe in, what their mission is, who they are and how they represent themselves, so that way those that view them are receiving the message intentfully or intentionally. So if that resonates with you, then maybe that would be a good fit for you. For example, ours is to empathize, to educate, and to encourage. So that's on our website. So when you hop on there, that's literally one of the first things you see. So there's like no confusion as to like what we stand for. And that's in like the aspect from client stylist relationship, but it's also how I view my owner stylist relationship, or any kind of relationship. I want to empathize with humanity, people. I want to educate people, and I want to encourage people. And then these 3 sectors, no matter what realm it is that I'm working in, and those in the team with me, I want that to be like the energy we exert. So what I'm saying is hopefully these salons have a good grasp on what they represent, and you gravitate towards it. If you do, then that may be a place that you want to apply to.
So definitely like what she said, like going into maybe like scheduling an appointment, just to see like how they treat you as a client, because they don't even know you're interested in applying. So I think that's really good to like just go in there, schedule with a stylist, see how the stylist treats you, and vice versa, see how everything's going, like the receptionist, just everything in the salon itself.
Right, because that will give you a good, you can observe then the energy, the feeling of how people interact with each other, with you from a different lens. Not necessarily from just being an employee or being from an interviewee perspective. You can view it from like a fly on the wall almost or something. Then on these 3 steps, you're like, yes, I like these salons.
Step 2.
3. So that was the 3rd step. So this is 4. Step 4 now. If they pass all of these still, reach out and apply. I mean, they might not even be applying, that may be the thing, but you never know. I mean, it never hurts to reach out and just be like, hey, here's my resume, here's my Instagram work. Want to see if you guys are hiring or in the near future. Just wanted to put my information out there because you never know. Maybe they are, or maybe they will be soon, or maybe one day they will and they'll have to put your stuff on file and they'll be like, hey, such and such, you know, put in her information. Can you hit her up to see if she wants to do an interview? Like, I don't think that there's any harm in putting yourself out there.
Yeah, we get quite a few callers that will just asking what the steps are, and of course the person who you call, me for instance, will just explain to you what you need to do to apply and we just go from there. It sounds scary, but it's really not. It's really not.
I mean, the worst thing they can say is no, right? And like, I mean, that can be a little maybe scary and embarrassing, but like, you never know until you try, right? And what I do admire from people when they do that is that it shows that they're interested. It shows initiative. Now, you don't want to be pushy because there have been some people that I'm just like, oh my, I don't know about that. So you don't want to come across as like, yeah, you don't want to be pushy. You definitely want to show interest and you want to show initiative. You don't want to come across as pushy. So I will also say that. If the employer is interested, they definitely will be reaching out to you. You don't want to force it. You don't want an employer to be like, yeah, come on in, and it be super forced. You want it to be authentic and organic. Mm-hmm. So on the note of authenticity, I do want to also put out there that I would suggest that you also be authentically what you want to attract. Meaning, if you are a kind person and you want to attract a kind brand, be that. But if you're, big me, and you want to attract a kind brand, then there's going to be a clash there. I would not suggest that. I wouldn't suggest putting up a front or being fake just to get in the door. You can use different terminology and replace that to make a point across, is what I'm trying to say.
To fit your scenario.
Yeah, basically, yes. Yeah, so just keep that in mind too, that when you're reaching out to these salons,
you want to be your, like you said, your authentic
You want to
self.
be yourself. Like, you don't want to be like...
So that wall doesn't actually come down.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't want to be like 90 days in and be like, oh, I'm actually this and that. I'm not really what I said I was. Like, what? I hired that, not this. What is this? So yeah, you want to be you when you come with your whole self to the interview, whatever that may be, and if that's a good fit, then I'll hire you. And if not, you'll find somebody that wants your whole self. Don't feel like you have to be somebody you're not.
Conform, change.
Yes, exactly. If after all of that, if after you research salons, if after you've done your, the specialty and the aesthetic, if after you've selected brand core values and work culture, not work. After you've applied or showed interest, then comes the interview process. If they then, right, because this has been you showing interest. Now, if they're like, oh, I'm interested in you, come on in, let's have a chit chat. This is where I was saying, like, be transparent, be you. Ask questions. You want to look at this moment as a partnership.
You don't want to, like, in a sense, like, pretend to be something else or, like, kind of fit what you think that salon wants.
Right.
Because in the end,
you just want to be hired.
Yeah, it's going to backfire on you, and it's really hard to keep that up. Like,
it's stressful.
Yeah, it's a lot easier just to be your natural self. They'll fall in love with you, you'll fall in love with them, everything just works happily.
Don't just put up a front to get your leg in the door and then you end up getting fired or end up quitting. Or worse, not knowing what you want or makes you happy and it being a waste of everybody's time and energy. So you definitely want to make a list of things that you want from a salon home, things that will make you happy. And if you don't know what those things are, definitely sit down with yourself, take the time to realize what is it that you want out of your career, what is it that you want from a salon home, an atmosphere, an environment, people, all the things you can think of. What does that look like for you? And then put that into play. Don't just kind of go willy-nilly and just see what happens. What about at the interview portion? Do you feel like people...
I think during interviews...
I think it's such a nerve-wracking process, interviews, that people are almost like, yeah, no,
yeah.
Most often than not when I ask people, like, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
They're like...
So definitely prepare some questions just in case that happens. Also, my biggest thing, I don't know what all interviewers ask, but like the number one thing someone always asks me is like, tell me about yourself. And I was like froze up.
Like, I don't know. Who am I?
I'm Veronica.
What is life?
Like, I don't know anything. So definitely prepare.
I'm Veronica. I don't know anything.
Prepare ahead of time before you go to the interview just to get yourself mentally ready.
Maybe practice, bro. Like,
that's what
talk to your homie. Like a mirror. Get your sister.
Record yourself. That's what they're gonna see. You're not gonna see that. That's what they're gonna see, hear, like everything.
But don't let the nerves get the best of you, is what I'm saying, where it comes across as you don't know what you're doing or talking about. Because then that may perhaps hinder your options or somebody else that's in the running, you know, be in a better position than you because they were able to get a hold of that. So you want to make a really smart or best educated decision when it comes to finding a salon home versus the hiring. I need money.
What's the pay?
Yeah, like, what? Do you know what we do here?
Bi-weekly or weekly?
Like, I don't think you understand what we do here. Like, I don't think that you want to work here. Alright, so that was our 5 steps to finding a good salon home. Hopefully that was helpful.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave comments below. We'll respond, or
follow us.
You can follow. We'll also put our Instagram and any other social media on as well. You can find that in the description below. And yeah, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.